First kiss,
No.
thumbs up or thumbs down?
Me?
Yeah, tell me.
No.
No, it wasn't good?
No, I'm not talking about it.
We got to talk about it.
Why are you so determined for this?
Because it's a funny
This is an
story.
edit. This hand,
This isn't an edit.
edit.
Uh-uh.
Edit.
It's a funny story.
It's not funny. It's funny.
That would be funny. I know. Well, I'll just keep them on. All right. Guys, it's Ryan the Roast. God, now my eye stuff's gone.
No.
If y'all ever...
eyes.
His
wife with many faces.
So I had... evidently, I have Tourette's. I never knew it until I started doing these videos. I used to like do this a lot, and I didn't know. I call it stretching my eyes, but like I've tried to start editing them out of videos, but like Kennedy and the kids make fun of me for it, but I never realized how much I did it until
in your hands.
And I talk with my hands until until I never realized how much I did it until I started like editing video. God, I'm done. What's wrong? Until I started editing videos, and I'm like,
hands? So it's you stretching your eyes and moving your hands, and I'm over here making 1,000 faces.
It's fun. So I didn't know how much I did it until I started editing videos, and now I've tried editing it out, but I'm like, I don't know what it. I guess it's Tourette's. I don't know what it is. If y'all know what it is, y'all can tell me in the comments below. God, below. She's laughing at me. So, Kennedy, how did we meet, and what was your first impression?
We met at Troy. I think you shared that.
Maybe.
At orientation, and first impression. What?
I was a hippie, so.
You were. He had long curly hair, not brushed. It's big. I liked it though.
I didn't brush my hair.
Mm-hmm. A hip necklace. Those big brown things. And
now you're dating us.
Well, it's okay.
Okay.
And a big bandage on his foot, bloody bandage on his foot. And my mom.
I stepped on a beer bottle at a party, and it gashed my foot open. Like 2 days before.
But my mom suggested going and talking, and when she wants to talk, she talks. So we ended up. I guess did we come to y'all?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
We came to Ryan and his mom to introduce ourselves because we knew each other. We're from Selma. We just had never officially met.
She stalked me for years,
right?
And just was waiting.
I actually thought he was his roommate, so
I
thought I was introducing myself to the wrong person. So yeah.
So my first impression was, man, she's hot. And my mom was like, let's go talk. Or I said, Mom, that girl's from Selma. She said, let's go talk to her. And I was like, no, not with you. You know, typical 18-year-old male. It's like, not with you, Mom. I look like a loser. I probably was one, but we ended up hanging out like that whole day, and then we went to a party that night. And Kennedy is not much of a talker until you get to know her, and so like it took me all night to get her to start talking to me, and when she finally did, somebody came up and got me to go do something, and it just killed all momentum. So it's pretty disappointing. What is your favorite thing about me? I'm going to have to do these. That's the only time you're being you is during the stuff you want me to cut.
Favorite thing about you?
I might start crying. She can't think anything.
No,
that's why I'm going to start crying.
No.
It's not just one thing. There's not one thing.
No, there is. There's so much. I'm thinking what to say first. Your sense of humor, of course. Not the sarcastic. No, you have a good sense of humor. Never a dull moment. But I think your ability to like connect with anyone, just about. Like you can talk to anyone,
Yeah.
any age bracket. Also, I think um, you're worried.
Huh? Look at it. Look at this.
This is on the spot. Pressure.
I know. Are your armpits sweating yet? Ooh, my armpits are
They
sweating.
are. They are. Can't see them though.
All this is going in there.
No, it's not.
Every bit of
No,
it.
because I'm checking before we.
You're not checking. I'm gonna post it.
Okay.
Watch this.
Let's come back.
So those two things.
No.
My sense of humor and my ability to connect. All right. So what I love about Kennedy is her compassion. She has a very compassionate heart for others, anybody. Like, she's full of mercy. Like, she is the reins that keeps me from making a fool of myself a lot of times. So, wouldn't you agree when I listen to you?
Yeah.
But I like that about Kennedy. She is a strong woman. She has a ton of faith. Like, I always check stuff by her. Like, when I was coming back to the coffee, she's like, I have peace about it. And it's like, wow, that's insane. So she's always helped me be a lot better. Kennedy's love language is affection, as y'all can tell. So your love languages are what? Doing things for people,
Right.
gift giving.
Yes. That might be it. That's it.
I'm affection, quality time, and words of affirmation. So it's, one of the greatest lessons. We read a book I read like the first chapter and got what I needed out of the book, but it's called The 5 Love Languages. And it really opened up my eyes, because I think in our marriage, there was a time, I don't know if you ever did, but there was a time like I was like, this woman doesn't love me. It's like I'm begging for her to like just snuggle with me, and it's like she won't snuggle. And it really bothered me for a long time, and I got that book and I read it, and it all made sense. It's like, man, she's telling you she's loving you, but this is the way she shows it. So you got to learn to listen and learn to speak her love language, and not your love language. And man, when I read that book, it helped me receive the love that Kennedy really had for me. What was the hardest thing that you had to learn in marriage? Or the hardest thing in marriage?
I think there's like a hardest thing in marriage. It's just depending on the season. So in the beginning, what?
No, I mean, that's a good answer.
No. So I'm trying to think. Like in the beginning, well, I guess it would just be learning it. I think your dad mentioned this before. That realizing it's not up to each other to make each other happy, or not to rely on each other for, I guess, false expectations. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, and understanding like how you work, your love languages and mine, the differences, and understanding that.
So just kind of the hardest. The hardest part was just kind of learning. Like,
One, we're not, ultimately it's not up to you to make me happy.
yeah.
It's not up to me to make you happy. And so when there are frustrations or areas that like this is not working, or I'm about to lose my mind, or you're getting on my nerves with this,
we never go through that.
No. It's like it's saying, okay, wait, well, what's going on with me first? Why am I mad? And then communicating. You do that much better. All right, this is what's going on. This is how I feel.
We did a stint at the counselors, but he told the guy, he said, you know, Ryan, like whenever you're saying this, what she's receiving it as is like you're telling her this is what's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's just shows how if you're not trying to like work on your relationship and on yourself for your relationship, it how things can get just misguided. Because that's what, man, when he told me that, it like broke my heart. It's like, man, I'd never do that. It's like I'd never want her to feel like anything's her fault. My whole mindset's like, how do we fix this broken spot in our marriage? And then, the counselor was like, well, instead of addressing this like we need to, or you should, or this or that, he said to address it, when you do this, it makes me feel. So profound yet so simple. It's crazy. Crazy.
Here's one. So learning when to like discuss an issue or something that is going on, or can't think of a specific example, and how you present it. Okay, so if there's something with you that is irritating me, or something we need to talk about, or something, go back, or something.
What's he laughing about?
No, or
let's do it now. Why don't we do it now?
No. Or
no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, this is on. I'll talk about me. Okay, when I'm wake up on a Saturday, I saw a TikTok on it today when the wife wakes up and she sounded like a dude or something in the next room saying she needed her house clean right now. When we wake up in those moods where it's like I start it literally happens.
Happened this morning.
I start slamming stuff around because I'm frustrated because I want the house clean like right then. And so I never once said, "Hey, can you help? Do you mind doing this?" So that's an example. It's like stopping, learning to catch myself, and say, "Hold on," when I feel these things rising up, it's like let me step back.
I've always shared with Kennedy that if you ever need help, say, "Will you please help me?" Mm-hmm. She never asks that. She goes and starts slinging stuff and getting angry.
Right.
And I'm just like, all you gotta do is ask. All you gotta do is say, "Ryan, will you do this?" I'm like, if you're not asking, means you don't want my help.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So she goes around like a demon.
That's where the communication comes in. You got to communicate things. You can't read my mind.
I can read your body language, but it doesn't. It just wants me to crawl up in a fetal position and hide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, all right, here's a fun one. So, who do you think? So, y'all know, or people who have been watching, if y'all hadn't, we got 2 children. A 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. The 20-year-old is my son, our son. His name is McCain. And the 17-year-old is our daughter, and her name is Marin. So, who do you think's more like you, Marin or McCain?
I don't want them to watch and get offended.
No, who's like you? Who's got the same personality traits?
So our son definitely has more of my traits, not all of them, and then Marin has more of you for sure.
Personality wise.
Yeah, mm-hmm, personality wise, yeah, yep.
I mean, she's got some of they've both got some of both,
but yeah, I would.
But like the predominant,
she is, more like you, and he's more like me.
Yeah.
Correct.
So which one's your favorite?
He's my favorite son, and she's my favorite daughter. They always give me a hard time.
Well, look, they saw a video of when we went on our mission trip. Mm-hmm. What was one thing that you took away from that trip?
While we were there, I was there, we were there. There were just times that it was very peaceful in a different way, and I think it was just realizing that when you're actually away from everything, because we were in a bush in the middle of nowhere, literally nowhere with nothing, it was almost like I don't know, away from all the chaos, the noises. You just, wasn't like things to do and got to worry about this and that. So just learning to, when you come back and get back to the reality of real life, it's like, what does all this really matter? Taking time to not worry about all the things of the world and just enjoy life.
Enjoy life.
Life, yeah.
Life.
Life.
Enjoy life.
Enjoy it. Day to day stuff.
I said, what are some things that you enjoy?
I enjoy grilling out, or you grill. I eat grilling.
You like fellowshipping outside while I do all the work.
I do. I like being outside. Lots of things outside. I like the beach. I don't know what else.
You like playing tennis?
I like playing tennis.
You like playing tennis?
Sometimes.
Kennedy has this thing to where she gets very angry if she's not playing at the level she thinks she should be playing. Angry at herself. It's scary.
I do.
All right, so you like playing tennis. You like grilling out. So
I do.
Are you a good cook?
No, absolutely not. And I'm okay with that too.
Am I a good cook?
Yes, you are. So we balance. I like doing yard work, and he likes to cook.
I don't mind doing yard work. They're gonna make fun.
They're
gonna roast me.
No, you'll do it.
But Kennedy,
I enjoy it.
Like if the grass is this tall, she's going to cut it to this. I mean, she gets it from her mom.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Her mom's the same way. They are like nuts about being in the yard and trimming and do. I'm like.
But I enjoy it. So.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy cooking. You enjoy cooking.
I love cooking.
Okay, so that's how I am with the yard. I like cutting the grass.
Cooking there's something healing about it for me. It's like I make a gumbo that is pretty good, but I'll make like my stock and I'll make my roux all from scratch, and it's like just that process because you have to just sit and just patiently. Like when you're making a roux, it's like you just patiently stir and you're just sitting there and seeing the process and seeing, the flour and the oil come together and just being transformed. And like this work that I'm going to do, that I'm doing right here, this work that's time consuming and it takes effort. And a lot of times, that stuff will spit her up and I'll get burnt, but it's like, through that process, that's the foundation, and so you want to take your time and you want to do it right. It's kind of like with life, isn't it? Or like with marriage, isn't it? You just do the work, stir the roux. I mean, so Kennedy, you used to dance, right?
Mm-hmm. Tap dance. Tap dance.
You used to be a dancer, didn't you, Kennedy?
Yeah.
Look at
tap, ballet, jazz.
So Kennedy taught dance and did like lyrical dance. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, you've been you were a cheerleader, right? Yeah. She did cheer when she was in high school and could have gone to college and done it. But
what do you think is a good piece of advice to give a newlywed?
I would say to forgive quickly and forgive frequently. All right, well, here's Kennedy. What's the most memorable thing that we have done together, or even with the family, like just your favorite thing that's like when we did this or we're at this moment, I knew that everything's going to be okay?
I would say one of the most memorable times as a family, like all four.
Sure.
Is okay, so there was one time, let's go back, rewind, recently, where for me, I don't know what it was, but it was just a good night. It was a simple night, which they usually are. When it was when you and I went to eat in Montgomery with McCain and Marin, and so again, those are our kids, and they both are in, they both have boyfriend and girlfriend, and
Pretty serious
yeah, I
ones.
would say serious, and it was just a lot of fun. I can't even put it into words. Just joy and like Ron put it that way, like of just being like at the table. It was just easy. It was almost like a picture of, because we're really transitioning to a new season where we have one completely out of the house. He's moving on, and it kind of makes you sad, but then you're thankful and like this is, it's exciting because it's time to move to the next season. And then the same with our daughter; she'll be a senior this year, and so sitting at the table with them, just fellowship and eating, laughing. It wasn't work, and it wasn't even like a major deal. It was just we weren't even celebrating a special occasion. We were just there together. But I'll just remember leaving and just like being so thankful, like Lord, thank you for getting us here, and this is just a big. I don't know. It's just joy. I can't describe it.
Yeah.
It was like it's just this cool season that you're kind of showing me, to get excited about.
The
And
future.
yeah, and because a lot of times as they were growing up and it went by so fast, and I know a lot of people can, especially like grandkids, you can say how fast it goes by, but in the middle of it, of course, you're like, oh, if I could just get here. I find myself saying, if I can just be here, or we can just get, you know, Marin through school, or we can just figure this out. It's like you're always your mind, of course, because you plan this life, but it's like if we can just get to this season or just get through this. Um, and it's like, I think in that moment, it was like, I finally, it was just like, no, like
You were
enjoy.
in the
I was
moment.
in the moment, and it was the best feeling and the most joy and like peace and excitement about where we are and where we're going. So,
That's something crazy. You telling that story just made me think about that night.
mm-hmm.
So literally, we're all sitting around the table, and this place is packed out, like waiting list. People, I mean, no tables. And this bus boy,
Oh, yeah.
out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
he just walks over, and I don't even remember what he said, but he said like Jesus stuff, like just started telling us all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
It was just almost like y'all are like favored and
Yeah, it's like
like
you're blessed
you're
and favored,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
all, and I'm just like, this is insane. I mean, it really, when you look at it, it's like this
mm-hmm,
is insane.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, I mean, I forgot the
mm-hmm,
crazy. I mean, Jesus stories. I mean, it's like
mm-hmm.
God. It's what somebody asked me once. About, do I believe Jesus is real? And it's like, man, I, I I've had too many coincidences in life
Mm-hmm.
to believe in coincidence. You know,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that. That's it. With that night, there was we weren't trying to muster it. I wasn't even trying to, it wasn't a spiritual night. I mean, you know what I mean?
no,
Like we
no,
weren't trying to muster it up, and then it just that's what it was. It was just like
it's good.
it's good stuff.
All right, here's a question for you, Kennedy. So, a lot of parents, when they come to this time in life, like, there's apprehension because I've noticed, like, parents will kind of cling to their, like, I know a couple where the father was like, he always did things with the son, and the mother, it's like she clung to the daughter, and the parents never did anything together. It was always, do
Mm-hmm.
you have any apprehensions to it being just me and you?
No, no.
So, one of the things that I think, like foundationally, what has benefited our marriage, and is we would always, like, I mean, even when we were young and didn't have extra money to spend, like, we would make it a point, like, which we hadn't done that in a while. We need to go, but we would go out of town and spend the night out of town and go out to eat and stay there and just enjoy each other's company. And I mean, now I guess we don't have to, because, like, the kids aren't. I mean, we can go to our backyard and kind of have the same thing, but for me, it's like we'd probably do it 3 times a year. I mean, we didn't do it all the time, but the times we did it, we made it a big deal. And I think that just like really like it recentered me to like this is my friend, this is the woman I love. I have fun with her. I mean, it's like it helps you see all the good. You know, everybody knows in day to day you get like beat up by life, and then you want to take it out on the people you love the most, and it's not their fault. But it's like, wait, does anybody know why that is? Why is it that the ones we love the most always see the ugliest side of us? Mm-hmm. All right, Kennedy, do you have a special story, like Jesus' story, that where you just like knew that he knew you? Like an encounter or just something that happened where you're like, I'm loved by him. There's one time that was just kind of a tough time in our marriage, and I'd been praying, and I'd been like, Jesus, I read in the Bible that like it said, husbands, love your wife like Jesus loves the church. So I was like, Jesus, I want to do that. I want to do that. And so, through just my heart getting dirty, I guess would say, I like got to a point where I felt like the feelings of love were stripped away. Um, and so I remember sitting there and I just like, I don't feel like I love her. And it's funny because I came across this book called The Love Dare. I started reading this book, and it's like I didn't feel like I loved her, and I'd just been praying like, Lord, I want to love this woman like Jesus loves the church. So I started reading this, or no, I watched the movie Fireproof and then got the book or something. But I started doing the Love Dare, and like I remember, man, it was hard because I was like, and around that time I read that book, The 5 Love Languages, and so I was like doing all these things for her when like the emotions of love weren't there. And when you get in those moments, you're like, you always question and say, will they ever come back? I mean, in reality, I know you've felt that way about me every day, but no. But I mean, when you're in that not good place, like, you just feel like they're not going to ever return. And so I really just, what it was obedience, man. It was perseverance. It's like, all right, Lord, I ask this, and through it all, like Kennedy told me through that season, like she said, I encountered the love of Jesus like in that time frame. So when I didn't feel like I loved her and was making the choice that like I'm going to choose to love her, like the beauty of it is she came back, I mean, after the fact, and it's like, well, this was the time frame that I felt the love of Jesus, and it was through you. So it's just a real cool story. I love you, dear.
No, that's an edit. Edit.
Huh? I love you.
Delete.
No.
This is cringy. I don't want to talk about it.
Huh?
Okay, what's another question?
What is your favorite thing about me?
I don't know. Wait, okay, that's another cut. All right, say it again.
Mistaking me for my mother. Y'all can tell.
I ain't mistaking you for your mom.
Y'all mistook my mother for my wife.
Precious McKinney.
Oh,
delete that too. That was an ugly face.
Oh,
did you see that face?
I didn't. Do it again.
Precious.
My precious. Outtakes. So
there again, like, why didn't you ask me these 2 days ago? What did you just say?
thought she wanted to kiss me.
God, so bad at this.
Lord, give her calmness and peace.
I am calm. This is calm.
I know.